Hello everyone, I am Simran Kaur, your science teacher from Shiv Jyoti Educational Group, and today we will do recap of chapter 1, crop production and management. In the last video, in part 1, we discussed these topics, that what are crops and few practices of crop production. Now in part 2, means today we will discuss the remaining practices of crop production, what is green revolution, crop rotation, mixed cultivation and the food which we obtain from animals. Now here is a list of basic practices which we follow for producing crops. Like in part 1, we discussed above 4 practices, like first we prepare our soil, then we select good quality seeds, then we sow in the soil, then we supply water to our crops and we remove unwanted plants. Now after weeding, the steps are crop protection, harvesting and storage. Now crop protection, we all know that our crop should be protected. Now protected from whom? From stray animals, from birds, from pests, insects, because they damage our crops. When they run over the fields, either they will eat our crops which we do not want, or they will trample our crops, they will crush our crops. Then how can we protect our crops? We can do fencing of our field, means we can make boundaries so that stray animals cannot enter our agricultural field, or we can use scarecrows to scare the birds, crows. And what else we can use to protect our crops? We can use chemicals like insecticides, pesticides to kill insects and pests. Then after crop protection, now our crops are ready. Now it's time to harvest our crops. So next practice is harvesting, the process of cutting and gathering of a crop upon its maturation. Maturation means when our crop gets ready to be cut. Now how can we cut our crops? Either we can do it manually by using this tool, this is known as sickle, or we can use machine known as harvester to cut our crops. Like here, through this part we are cutting our crops, and from this pipe like structure we are collecting our crops on this tractor. After harvesting comes threshing. Now you know that we do not get our grains directly. Those grains are they are present in straw, that pipe like structure. So the process of separation of the grains from the straw is known as threshing. So how can we separate our grains from the straw? We can beat our crops, we can beat our plants over the hard surface. By doing so, what we are doing, we are separating grains with straw. So it can be done manually, like this man is beating this plant, or we can use a machine known as combine. It is a combination of harvester and thresher. That machine first harvests our crops and then it separates grain from the straw. After threshing comes winnowing. You know that still we do not get pure grains, we get mixture of grain with chaff. So the process of separating the grains from the chaff with the help of the wind is known as winnowing. What we do in this case, like we throw our grain mixture from some height, and with the help of wind, this mixture contains chaff which is lighter in weight, and this wind takes away those chaff, and we get what? We get our grains, we get our grain particles, because they are heavier in weight and they fall down on the ground. So it can be done manually, like this lady is doing. At small scale, like at our homes, we perform winnowing like this, and at large scale we can use machines. Okay, now comes storage. Next practice is storage. It is not like that we consume all crops or all grains in a single day. No, we can use it throughout the year. So for using it, for consuming it throughout the year, we need to store it first. Like when we shop for our grocery, what we do? We store it in the containers in our refrigerators. So similarly, grains also need to be stored. Before storing, seeds are sun dried to reduce moisture. As we all know that the moisture, the content of water is a very good environment for the growth of microorganisms. Okay? They grow very well in moist places. So we dry our grains under direct sun. All the moisture present in the seeds, it escapes out. At small scale, means at homes, grains can be stored in metallic containers or jute bags. We all have containers like these at our houses, and this is jute bag. But on large scale, storage of grains is done in silos and granaries. These are silos, means these are tall cylindrical structure, metallic structure. We store our grains in these tall cylindrical structures. These are silos and these are granaries. It is like a storage house. We store gunny bags here. Gunny bags, in this we store our seeds, our grains. Fruits and vegetables are stored in cold storage houses. We know that fruits and vegetables are perishable, means they can decay very easily within a few days. So to consume it for longer time, we have to store it at some cool places. Like at our houses we use our fridges, but on large scale we use cold storage houses. You have seen it. That was the basic practices of crop production. Now next topic is green revolution. It refers to the great increase in production of food grains due to the use of improved variety of seeds. By improving the quality of seeds, we are increasing our production. We are getting more crops from the same quantity of seeds. But those seeds are now, they are improved, means they have a good, they have great properties. These seeds are hybrid. Let's take an example of cows. You have heard of local cows and you have heard of hybrid cows. A single cow, local cow, can give us let's say 7 to 8 liters a day. 7 to 8 liters of milk a day, but that hybrid cow, it can give up to 15 to 20 liters of milk in a single day. So that is hybrid cow, means the properties, the traits are improved. So same in case of seeds, we have improved quality of seeds and we are increasing the production of our grains, and that's why it is known as green revolution. Why we are using this green color? Because we know that plants are green in color, that's why green revolution. Next is crop rotation. Okay, let's say, again let's take an example. You have two jars. In one jar wheat is present, wheat grain is present. In the second jar rice grain is present. Now if you will keep on consuming only one jar, means if you are using only wheat grains, then you will be left with no more grains, no more wheat grains. So same happens in case of crops. If you will grow crops, same type of crops in the same field, then few nutrients that land will get deficient of those few specific nutrients. So to replenish the nutrients, to keep our soil fertile, what we need to do? We need to rotate the crops. Means if one year we are growing these crops, then second year, the next year we can grow some different type of crops to maintain the fertility of soil. So the practice of growing different crops on the same ground to maintain or increase its fertility is crop rotation. We are rotating our crops. Understood? The next is mixed cultivation. By this term mixed, you can get that we are mixing crops. Okay, we are growing different type of crops on the same field. So process of growing two or more different types of crops simultaneously at the same time. Now you can see this is same land, one agricultural field, and on the same land we are growing two different crops. You can differentiate between those crops. Now, this crop is of some different type, and this with the yellow flowers, it is of some different kind. So, this is mixed cultivation, because the nutrients the nutrients required by one crop gets fulfilled by the next crop, the other crop. Now, we all know that we do not obtain our food from plants only, we get our food from animals also. So, the practice of breeding and raising livestock is known as animal husbandry. To obtain our food from animals, we need to rear them, we need to breed them, we need cross breeding of them to get improved quality of animals, like I talked about that hybrid cow, and that is known as animal husbandry. Here is a list of the products which we obtain from animals, like from cow we get milk, we get beef, from hen we get chicken, eggs, we get fish, and from goat we get milk and cheese. So many items are there. So, this is food from animals. Okay, that was all about chapter 1 part 2. I hope you understood the chapter well, and thank you.